Well, this is a rarity. I've been looking on the Prog Archives website for Mammoth, the new album that I'm going to be reviewing, Deviations, but it is devoid of any information on them. So I'm going to have to do this review mainly based on the music that's found on it. And luckily, it's amazing music at that. Deviations by Mammoth. So Mammoth is a Los Angeles instrumental prog fusion trio. These guys got their start relatively recently, only putting out a few albums here and there, and this is the first one that I've mainly listened to. And as I said at the beginning, I didn't have a whole lot of background going in with these guys. I actually got recommended from them from a fan, so thank you guys. I knew that they were kind of a metal, jazz conglomeration coming into this album. I didn't have too much to go on in what to expect. Now, luckily that played in their favor because what I had heard is just amazing metal music. This is the type of metal music that is really hard to come by. It's very technical and it's very meticulously thought out, but it doesn't feel like it's that math rock that a lot of those other gent bands have. This feels more of like a free flow jazz exercise. And I love the ebbs and flows of this band as well. Coming into the first track of that, Entanglements, it almost reminds me of like the Genesis song of Entangles, and I wonder if the two have any kind of cross references there, especially near the mid part where the song slows down into that mellow valley. That kind of had that same reminiscent or that same essence of that song, so I really enjoyed and dug that part. But I mean, this band isn't only mellow, these guys are just rocking head on, and I love where this song goes too. It's coming in at around the 8-minute mark, so it's got a lot of that highs and lows, and when it is heavy, it is just that meaty hook heavy. And just like that jazz funky sounds within the second song, the longest song off this, of Obscurements, this guy just goes everywhere, and I love just hanging on for the ride. Even though there's not a whole lot of things to hang on to on this album, I feel like that plays in their favor. A lot of times when bands just kind of throw things at the wall and it never really sticks, I feel like I'm in the air too long. But with these guys, because the grounding of the album and the grounding of these songs are so solid, I don't mind being up in the air for so long, and Obscurements really has that kind of essence. Really, one of the highlights on this album is actually the shortest track of The Hilarity of Singularity. This guy is just it's got a plethora of really meaty guitar licks and guitar hooks. Like, this guy goes all over the place in such a short period of time, and it really hits hard. Just every single note is punctuated so perfectly. It's really hard not to fall in love with such a dense, short track. Now, it's within the fourth track of the accumulation of seduction. The bass line on this is very reminiscent to the bass lines that you would hear in, say, a Flower Kings type of a thing, where it's got that really pronounced and very visible bass. And I really like that. I wish more bands had done this. And I also love some of the sounds that are in this as well, where this song goes, and just how they play with those kind of noises is just a lot of fun. And speaking of really strange noises and using them very, very well, the fifth song of Limited Access to the One, this guy's got some really great keyboard sounds or synthesized sounds. And what I really like about these guys is I don't really know if it's a guitar work or if it's a synthesizer that's really promoting a lot of these sounds. And I love having that obscurity. I love not knowing what is actually providing that sound. And if we're talking about another mellow track, the second last song of Deviations, this is much more of an ambient noise or an ambient feel track. This is much more of like a wandering in the middle of the woods, and you're seeing some fog come up, and you're just kind of getting an idea of what they're putting forth. And I really like that. I really like when a band is able to show different scopes and different facets of the musical landscape. They're not just up here all the time. They're also able to take some breathers and take some time to develop other slower tracks. And this brings us into the last song of Unlimited Access to the Nun. And this guy is definitely more of that jazzy approach to music, where the root half of the time is just implied, and I really love that. And kind of speaking again of that being up in the clouds, because we had such great grounding of the track that came before, we're able to enjoy being up in the clouds a little bit longer this time. And so it's that contrast between the tracks that really make each piece stand out a little bit more. So overall, I love this album, and I listened to it quite a bit over the past couple of weeks, and one that I highly recommend. I have to say, you gotta pick this guy up in physical form if you can find it. This guy definitely deserves to be listened to, and one that I'll be looking forward to in next releases of Mammoth, and hope that these guys really find success, because they're one of the bands that I got excited for listening to metal again, so definitely check them out. So that's about it. What did you guys think of Mammoth's new album, Deviations? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Whatever you thought, let me know by commenting below. And thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are the best. And until next time, notes out.